The story begins with four friends, Liam, Sarah, Ethan, and Mia, packing their gear into an old van for a weekend camping trip. It's their annual tradition to escape city life and find adventure in remote locations. This time, Liam has picked the location, Black Hollow Woods, a dense forest far from civilization. The group arrives as the late afternoon sun filters through the towering trees. The forest feels alive with the chirping of birds and rustling leaves creating an almost musical backdrop. They hike for hours, laughing and teasing each other until they find a secluded clearing to set up camp. As the sun dips below the horizon, Ethan starts a fire while Sarah tells stories about the forest's history. She mentions a chilling local legend, the Whisperer. According to Sarah, the Whisperer was a solitary figure, a woman accused of witchcraft and banished to the woods centuries ago. Some say her spirit still haunts the forest, luring travelers away with soft, haunting voices. Those who follow the whispers are said to vanish forever. The others laugh it off except for Mia, who feels a chill crawl down her spine. She glances at the dark woods surrounding them, suddenly feeling very small and vulnerable. That night, Liam wakes suddenly, startled by a faint noise outside his tent. He listens closely. It sounds like someone whispering his name, soft but unmistakable. "Liam, come here." He unzips his tent and peers out into the darkness. The campfire has burned down to embers, and the forest is unnervingly quiet. Convinced it was just his imagination, he crawls back into his sleeping bag, but sleep doesn't come easily. The next morning, the group sets off to explore deeper into the forest. As they hike, strange occurrences begin to unsettle them. Ethan spots fresh claw marks gouged into a tree, far larger than any animal he knows. Mia notices her compass spinning wildly, refusing to settle. Sarah finds a crude totem made of sticks and feathers hanging from a tree branch, as if marking their path. The forest feels oppressive now, the canopy of trees blocking out much of the sunlight. Liam, visibly uneasy, keeps hearing faint whispers, but he doesn't tell the others, not wanting to seem paranoid. By the second night, tensions are high. The group sits silently around the fire, the fun of their trip long gone. Just as they're about to turn in, Liam abruptly stands and walks into the woods without saying a word. "Liam," Sarah calls, but he doesn't respond. Ethan rushes after him, only to find him standing still, staring into the dark. When Ethan grabs his shoulder, Liam snaps out of it, confused. "I thought I heard something," Liam mutters. He shakes his head, unable to explain. Later that night, Liam vanishes from his tent without a sound. When the group wakes to find him gone, panic sets in. They search the campsite, calling his name, but he's nowhere to be found. Determined to find their friend, the remaining three venture deeper into the forest, following what little trail they can find. As they move, the whispers start again, but this time all three of them hear it. The whispers are faint, indistinct, but they seem to surround them, echoing through the trees. They come across an abandoned cabin, its windows shattered and roof partially caved in. Inside, they find disturbing clues. A map carved into the table, showing the forest with an X marked near their campsite. An old journal, filled with entries describing strange experiences in the woods, missing time, unexplainable voices, and people vanishing. A symbol carved into the walls, the same one Sarah had seen earlier on the totem. The whispers grow louder, urging them to follow the map. Though hesitant, the group has no other leads. The map leads them to a strange clearing, eerily quiet, where the air feels unnaturally heavy. At the center is a circle of stones, scorched black, with strange symbols carved into the ground. They find Liam tied to a tree, unconscious but alive, with the same symbols carved into the bark around him. As they approach, the whispers grow deafening, turning into screams. The ground trembles, and a shadowy figure begins to take shape within the circle of stones. It's the Whisperer. The figure, a woman with hollow eyes and flowing tattered robes, seems to shift and flicker like smoke. She raises a hand and the group is paralyzed by fear. Mia remembers the journal and its final entry: destroy the marks and the hold will break. Ethan grabs a large stick and begins scratching out the symbols carved into the trees. As he does, the figure shrieks, the sound piercing and unnatural. The wind howls through the clearing, and branches snap as if the forest is resisting their efforts. Sarah and Mia join in, erasing the symbols on the ground while Ethan works on the trees. Finally, with the last symbol destroyed, the figure lets out a final blood-curdling scream before dissolving into the wind. The whispers stop. The forest is silent once more. The sun rises, casting golden light over the clearing. Liam wakes, groggy but unharmed. He remembers hearing the whispers, but little else. The group embraces, relieved to have survived the night. As they make their way back to their campsite, the oppressive feeling of the forest seems to have lifted. Birds chirp, and the air feels lighter, almost welcoming. Before leaving, Mia glances back at the clearing one last time. For a brief moment, she thinks she sees the figure of a woman watching them from the trees, but when she blinks, it's gone. The group returns to the city, forever changed by their experience. They vow never to speak of what happened in Black Hollow Woods, but the memory stays with them, a mix of terror and gratitude that they all made it out alive.